He's here, ladies and gentlemen. Outlander himself, Sam Heughan. Hello.
Hello, good to see you.
Nice to see you. So you bring us a new book, Clanlands in New Zealand. Obviously, this is a sequel to the first Clanlands. So because of the success of that book. But how did that one come about?
That's a very good question. Yes. So the first book was an insight into this road trip we went around Scotland, myself and Graham McTavish, in a camper van, exploring the culture, the heritage of Scotland. We were writing during COVID online. I was one half of the world, he was the other. And I realized at the time we were basically arguing. I could see as he typed, this is what happened. Oh, yes, had a great time. And then I realized that I completely disagreed with what happened. So it's an argument, basically, the whole book.
Okay. Yeah. But did you do the road trip for the book, or was the book after the road trip?
So it's a companion piece to our TV show that I created called Men in Kilts, which is a six-parter. The first one in Scotland, all looking at the heritage and the culture and the history there. And we realised there's this great Scottish connection to New Zealand. So that's why we went to New Zealand.
Ah, okay. And when you go to New Zealand, is it you and Graham putting it all together, or is there a kind of a New Zealand expert sort of going, okay, here are the things you've got to do?
You would hope so, yeah. But no, we did. We put it all together. He lives there. He shot The Hobbit there. I've always wanted to go. So I'm huge into adrenaline sports, into history and culture. And there is this Scottish connection, which was so interesting. But also, not only that, the Maori people, you know, learning about their heritage.
Yeah.
We got to go to Marae, which is their local sort of community. We got to learn the haka, which is the waka race. It was, you know, a sort of a deep dive into their culture as well.
And is it fair to say you are slightly keener on the adrenaline sports than Graham?
Yeah, so in the first season when we were in Scotland, I realised when I pushed him over a cliff called Kilt Rock in the Isle of Skye, I realised that he hated it, and I realised this was TV gold. So I was like,
who would like that?
Right. He's you know, he plays these brave Highlanders, but actually he's a bit of a pussycat. So I realised, okay, I love this. What is higher and more extreme? And in New Zealand, they created extreme sports.
Yes.
From bungee jumping to zorbing to, you know, zip lining. And so I made him do it all.
And did he
survive?
Well, he survived.
He survived, yeah.
Did he grow to enjoy any of it?
Do you know what? I think after a while, he was sort of just oblivious to it. I maybe too much adrenaline. He was sort of shell-shocked. So by the end, he was fine. So I put him on the Nevis swing, which is the highest bungee swing in New Zealand, where you fall backwards upside down. And I mean, he did cry, but there were sort of tears of happiness, I think.
Yeah, that he was alive.
And he was alive. Yes, he survived.
But it's not just that. New Zealand, obviously, loads of delicious wine and food, and you do that too.
We do, yes. He's a bit of an Epicurean. I too love my spirits. Of course, I have my own spirits company. But yeah, we went to Black Barn, which is an amazing wine producer there. And then we went to Fleur's place, which is this famous woman that has this old whaling house right on the tip of one of the islands, the South Island, and she makes all these sort of traditional dishes like sort of fish cooked in kelp, and it was just amazing. So we filled our bellies.
Wow, how long were you there for?
Well, I was actually there 4 weeks, but actually at the same time I had to do the quarantine, the MIQ. So it was 10 days in sort of isolation, basically in a cell.
Have they stopped that now?
They have. But at the time, this was 2 years ago now, and I almost lost my mind in there. Actually, it was literally like being in prison.
It sounds pretty grim. A friend of mine did it.
Yeah.
And, they just deliver the food. And,
someone sort of knocks on your door, and you get this sort of plate of something that's not very healthy, and then that's it. I paced up and down for days in my room. I kind of went almost mad. I thought, I'm going to escape this facility. And they boarded up my window. I don't know why, but I found out when I left there were other rooms that had like a balcony, and people were sunbathing, and they're out, and I was in this sort of airtight container, no view. I think they were trying to get their own back.
Sorry, who are your representatives?
Who do I need to talk to in New Zealand?
Yeah, I think Sam Heughan needs new management, because that's ridiculous.
That's right. I guess they were starting the bar very low. So by the time I left New Zealand, I loved it.
Well, no, I bet you did. I mean, anyone would have loved your trip, but after that, it must have been incredible.
It was freedom. Freedom was incredible, and actually, I was slightly institutionalized by the end. I was kind of like, I didn't want to leave by the end of 10 days. Yeah. I sort of got myself a routine. But yes, it's an incredible country, amazing landscapes from, jungle, alpine to the shores, to, the maritime stuff as well. When we dived with great white sharks, we went kite surfing and everything. Yeah.
And then how do you manage all the beautiful photography? How does that happen? Is somebody with you doing that?
Yes. No. So we have a team, obviously. We're driving this camper van around. We put sort of GoPros on it, but we do have a whole team as well, you know. And I think we needed it. Otherwise, we would have got very, very lost, you know, if you put up with my driving. I'm pretty bad, to be honest.
And you know, it is a lot of time to spend with someone. Even if you were friends with someone and you work with them, being in a camper van for that long is different.
It is. You learn a lot about their bodily functions. And no, we get on very well. We're very competitive. And part of the show, especially in the first season in Scotland, we had a sort of competition. You know, we would compete in a lot of sports. We did the Highland Games in Scotland. So we threw cabers and picked up heavy stones. And in New Zealand, we tried to continue that. But I realised quite early on that Graham was actually quite good. He's actually quite good at stuff. And so he actually beat me in most of the things, apart from the welly tossing.
Okay. You have a gift.
I do. I'm quite a good tosser, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And yourself and Graham, you're going into the final season of Outlander.
I am, yes. Yes, the final season. We have been working on the show now for 8 seasons. This will be the 8th one. So it's a decade, 10 years. Wow. 10 years in the ginger wig. And it's been incredible. It's changed my life, Graham. Honestly, it's been such an amazing journey, great character. And it's going to be bittersweet, definitely, when we finish it. Yeah.
And, you know, obviously when you make something, you hope it's going to be a success.
Right.
But the fact, you know, it's a very Scottish show, and yet it's taken off in America. People love it.
It has. I mean, I think it's, you know, Scotland is one of the other characters in the show, and there's so much drama to be had, especially the historical side, because there's time travel, there's history, you know, and we stick very close to the history. But actually now in the show, we're in America, and we're dealing with the American Revolution. But as I said, there's time travel as well. So we do hop back and forth to Scotland. Yeah.
And I suppose when you started, you could never imagine that you'd be doing this 10 years later.
Right. Yeah. No, when I got the job, and I remember my driver, who drives me today, and I remember saying to him, you know, oh, this won't last longer than, you know, a season or two max, you know, and there we are, 8 seasons later and 10 years. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah. And it's opened all these opportunities to you. You now, like you were saying, you now create your own booze.
Yes, peddling my own wares. But I do, yeah. I'm a big, passionate spirits fan, and I created our multi-award-winning Scottish whiskey, the Sassenach, which has won so many double gold medals, but also now a platinum at the Spirits Awards in New York. And thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Done.
And we've collabed on a tequila, and now we've just released our wild Scottish gin. So I'll have to bring you some.
No, because whiskey's the hard one, because you can't, you know, gin, if you make it today, you can sell it tomorrow.
Right.
But whiskey takes a long time.
It does. You've got to wait. And by the time you waited, you know, 20 years, you're much older. But no, this is a blended whiskey, and I love, you know, the Japanese blends, the Asian blends. And I realized, you know, Scotland doesn't really have great blended whiskey. I mean, we're very famous for blended whiskey, but not so great premium stuff that is quintessentially Scottish. So we created this. I love it. It's delicious, and I'm gonna bring you cases of it.
And you very bravely called it Sassenach.
I did. It's once you've had a few of our whiskies, it's easier to say. But it is. Sassenach is an outsider, or dare we say, an English person. It used to be a derogatory term for an English person, but it is also the term that my character uses for his partner, his lover, Claire. It's a term of endearment.
Oh, okay. And so when do you wrap Outlander? When do...
God, yes, we wrap next year, end of the year, probably around October.
Not till then.
And that will be it. Yeah, we go back the beginning of spring, this 2024, and doing 10 eps, and we get to finish it. And I don't know. I mean, it really is bittersweet. I've been in fittings already, and I realized as I was having my fittings, like, this is the last time I will be having my fittings ever on the show. I started getting quite emotional about it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You're keeping the kilt, I presume?
I'm gonna steal as much as I can. If it's not tied down, it's going in the back of my car. Yeah, I've already taken a few things from set. But yeah.
It is going to be so strange, though, after 10 years to suddenly, that isn't happening.
Yeah, and I've spoken to, you know, other people about it. I mean, I've just done this TV show on Channel 4, The Couple Next Door.
Oh, yes.
Which has done very well. It's the biggest streaming drama on Channel 4.
Yeah, Eleanor Tomlinson was on the show.
Exactly. And I was talking to her because she did Poldark for a number of years as well. And I was asking her, you know, what is it like? And she said the same, you know. She was like, you probably need therapy and a very strong drink. But yeah, it's going to be a big moment.
Yeah, well, congratulations on The Couple Next Door.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Because how do you find time to do to film something else, to do these trips, to create the books?
Oh, I have several versions of me, AI versions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this version today.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
This one is slightly hungover and tired, I think.
Oh, really? Were you out last night?
I went to, I'll give a shout out to Russell Tovey, who I've worked with.
Oh, the Talk Art. Yes.
Yeah. They are two brilliant guys, Robert and Russell, and they had their 5th anniversary last night. They're 2 books, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
A New York Times bestsellers as well, I think. And it was a great evening. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
No, funny enough, because I went to see Cabaret last night, and Self-Esteem is in that, and she was off to that party as well.
Oh, actually, yes, saw her. Yep.
It's such a small showbiz world, ladies and gentlemen.
Rubbing shoulders.
Yes. I was almost at that party. Almost. Samuel, congratulations on everything. Clanlands in New Zealand by yourself and Graham McTavish is out now in hardback.